Good afternoon, students. Am I audible properly?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Okay, so within 2 minutes, we will start our lecture. Good afternoon, students. Should we start? Okay, in previous lecture, we have started exception handling, right? So out of that, we have seen up to multi-catch block, right? First, we will revise within few minutes and then we will move towards the programs. In previous lecture, we have started with what is meant by exception, how to handle it with the help of a try catch, right? So before that, we have seen the hierarchy for the same. In that hierarchy, we have seen checked exception, that is compile time exception. Then second one, unchecked exception, that is runtime exceptions. So according to that, its priority will be get decided by the compiler as well as interpreter. And third one is nothing but error, because error is a different concept, but this is also interrupt your code at the time of a compilation or at the time of a execution, because error is to completely depend on the either on the syntax or in the connectivity. That's why we have included in the types of exceptions. Then we have seen some examples based on the checked exception, unchecked, and error. After that, we have moved towards these types of keywords. Total 5 keywords are there for exception handling. Out of that, we have covered try and catch. Only 2 keywords we have seen and we have implemented its programs, and then we have moved towards, today we are moving towards finally keyword. Okay, because we have seen that after whenever we are writing try block in our program, at that time, after writing the try block, please write the catch block or finally block. This is the actual syntax which we have to follow. Just a minute, students. One minute, just. Okay. Whenever you are writing any try block in your program to handle the exception, catch block must be there or finally block must be there. If both are there, then no issues. But after try, catch must be there or finally must be there. Then we have moved towards its syntax, its program. Then we have implemented multi-catch block according to priority of a exception type. Then we have seen the nested try block also. And now we are moving towards the finally block. Yesterday, I have not shared the details of your lecture, that is programs, with you. Today, I will share it, as well as I will update the second chapter also. Okay. Now, should we move towards finally block? Yes, students. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, first, we will see what is meant by finally block. Java finally block is a block that is used to execute important code such as a closing connection, streams, etc. Okay, in previous lecture only I have told you that whenever there is a connectivity in between two machines, two databases, or any other devices through our program, at that time, if we have opened that particular program, it may be a file, it may be a machine, or it may be a sensor like etc. Okay, so whenever you are opening any type of a data, you should close it. That's why whatever important methods, whatever important codes are there related to closing, related to streams, we have to write in the finally block. So whatever openings we have done inside our program, that will be get closed after execution or after compilation. Okay, that's why finally block is there. Then finally block is always executed whether exception is handled or not. This is the important thing. In previous programs, what we have done, after writing try catch block, we have written certain statements, just like remaining code, etc. We have written, but there are a less chances of implementation of such a code. But if you are writing the finally block in your program, it is must be get executed, because finally you have already learned the final keyword. What is the meaning of final keyword? Whenever you are applying the final keyword inside it, it is get followed, means compulsorily get followed, and you cannot change it. It's same fashion whenever you are adding the finally block inside your program, whatever code is available inside it is get executed. It may exception handled or not. Okay, that's why important code is written inside the finally block. Then third, Java finally block follows try or catch block. Okay, so this is the very basic information related to finally. Now, main and important concept related to use of a finally block. Okay, this is the theory, means why we need it, how to use it, etc. like this. But whenever finally block in Java is used to put the cleanup code, such as closing the files, closing the connection, etc. Whenever somebody will ask you that why we are writing the finally block in program, this is the actual theory, right? But while giving the answer, cleanup word must be there. Okay, we are using it to closing the connection. It means its background is nothing but cleaning the data. So you can directly put inside that it is used to put the cleanup of code, such as the closing a file, closing connections, streams, etc. The important statement to be printed can be placed in the finally block, right? So this is the main use that we have covered in this block. So how to implement it? How to implement such a program? Now we will move towards next one. Okay, so today what I will do, I will make a new yesterday we have implemented in the package okay, just a minute, I will share my screen. Are you able to see it? Okay. First I will close it so we can able to design a new one. I will take a one class having name as a first for today, and I will write it as a okay. So we will start with a very simple program to check the finally block. So what I will do, I will first create a variable inside the try block. Okay, now you can see over here, whenever I am writing the try, it is showing me a red color. That is the cross mark, because we have not written finally up till now. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, sorry for disturbance from my side. In tab block, I will create one variable having name as a data, and I will divide it by one value suppose 5. Okay, data is equal to, okay, just I have created one variable. And now if I want to print data to user, so I will write one SOP statement. Right? Okay. So whatever data I want to print to user, but it may generate the exception, I have written over here. Now what I will do, I will write one catch block. Actually here, no any exception is there because integer value is there, data is equal to 25 by 5. It means it will generate a value in the integer format. So no need to handle the exception, but divide by 0, these cases are there. For such cases, we can use the exception. Then now see what I'm doing. I'm writing here null pointer exception. I'm writing here null pointer exception. Actually, it's not a part of this type of a exception because when we are writing the null pointer exception, if we have created any string variable and we have not passed any value to that variable, in that case, we can use this null pointer exception. Okay, so if you want to print to user which type of exception is there, you can mention over here with the help of its object. Now, after cache, there is a place of finally block. Okay, so whatever important code is there, you can write inside it. Whatever important code is there, you can write inside it. IMP code. And after that, if you want to write some data, you can write over here like a remaining code. Okay, so this is the structure of how to apply finally block in your program. Right now it's don't have any type of exception, but this is the actual hierarchy to write the finally block. Getting? Okay, are you clear for this? I have taken very simple example which doesn't have any type of a exception over here. Just a minute, students. Okay. Now we will see one example which is having one exception. Which is having one exception. So what I will do, I will keep this example as it is, but in catch block we have handled over here null pointer exception, not a arithmetic exception. Now see what happens. I'm dividing 25 by 0. Syntactically it's correct, right? Syntactically it's correct, but we have not handled it. So see what happened in the answer. IMP code means whatever data we have written inside the finally block is get implemented, but remaining code is not implemented because this exception is not handled by the catch block, because whatever exception we have written inside the catch block is not related to such a type of a exception. Understood? And if I will write here simply exception, then it will be get handled. It will be get handled. Understood? कारण एक्सेप्शन हा पॅरेंट क्लास आहे आणि मी मगाशी नल पॉइंटर एक्सेप्शन कॅच ब्लॉक मध्ये हँडल करायसाठी पास केलं होतं, पण ऍक्च्युअल एक्सेप्शन कोणतं जनरेट होत होतं? अरिथमॅटिक एक्सेप्शन जनरेट होतं. त्या केसमध्ये फायनली ब्लॉक इम्प्लिमेंट झाला, पण तुमची जी लास्टची लाईन होती जी आपण आउटसाइड लिहिली होती फायनली ब्लॉकच्या, ती इम्प्लिमेंट झाली नाही. That's why finally block is important for the closing the connection streams, then important connections, etc. So you can use over there. That's why it is called as the cleanup of a code. Okay, understood it? So I will once again implement the same one. Okay, फक्त फायनली मध्ये जे काही लिहिलं होतं ते फक्त प्रिंट झालं, because it's important message. Whatever remaining data is available outside that finally is not get executed over here. ह्याचा इम्पॉर्टंट कधी होतो जेव्हा तुम्ही डेटाबेसेस कनेक्ट केलेले असतात, राईट? डेटाबेस मध्ये काहीतरी व्हॅल्यूज एंटर करताय, इट मे बी अ कॉलम, इट मे बी अ रोज. पण जर असं करत असताना तुम्हाला कुठे एक्सेप्शन आलं, तर ज्या काही आधी तुम्ही एंट्रीज करत आलेला होता त्या प्रॉपरली क्लोज केल्या जातात, का तर तुम्ही तो डेटा फायनली ब्लॉक मध्ये लिहिलाय म्हणून. ओके, इज देयर एनी क्वेरीज फॉर दिस फायनली ब्लॉक? Yes, students, is there any query? Okay, so what I will do, I will make a one more catch block. See what I am doing. Because in previous lecture we have seen this type of multi-catch blocks, right? So I am writing here arithmetic exception, and I will keep here as simply exception if. Okay, now I will implement it. ओके, मैं आता मल्टिपल कॅच ब्लॉक यूज केला इथे. एक मिनिट, मी स्क्रीन इन्क्रीज करते. आर यू एबल टू सी इट? मी आता इथे काय केलं, मल्टिपल कॅच ब्लॉक्स अप्लाय केले. म्हणजे जर आता इथे नल पॉइंटर एक्सेप्शन जनरेट होणार नाही हे आपल्याला माहिती, पण मग अशी ते लिहिल्यामुळे काय होत होतं, फक्त फायनली ब्लॉक इम्प्लिमेंट होत होतं. जर मल्टिपल कॅच ब्लॉक मी यूज केले तर आपण प्रायोरिटीनुसार सिक्वेन्स ठरवतो, राईट? एक्सेप्शन्स जे आपल्याला जनरेट होणार आहेत ते प्रायोरिटीनुसार आपण कॅच ब्लॉक्स मध्ये लिहिले. So according to that, it will check one by one whether it is a runtime exception or compile time exception. That's why we are mentioning the priority. And after writing the catch blocks, if that exception is matched with that catch block, then and then it is called as the exception is handled by it. Otherwise, it's not handled. But use of finally block is what? Whenever we are having any type of exception in our program, it may be handled or it may not be handled, then also your finally block will get executed. That's why we have tried all the possibilities. पहिल्यांदा विदाउट एक्सेप्शनचा आपण प्रोग्राम ट्राय केला, त्यानंतर एक्सेप्शनचा ट्राय केला. एक्सेप्शनचा ट्राय करत असताना आधी जे एक्सेप्शन ऑकर होणार नाही ते एक्सेप्शन आपण कॅच ब्लॉक मध्ये लिहिलं, लाईक अ नल पॉइंटर. त्याच्यानंतर ऍक्च्युअल एक्सेप्शन पण लिहून पाहिलं आणि पॅरेंट क्लास पण लिहून पाहिलं. ओके, now understood it? Hello students.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Then should we move towards next point? या चॅप्टर मधले पॉइंट्स जरा इझी आहेत, कारण ह्याला फॉर्मॅट ठरलेला आहे, त्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त कुठे कोड तुमचा जाणार नाही. ओके, So after completion of lecture, just try to implement it from your side, because a very small points are there in the exception handling, but they are having very more weightage at the time of interviews as well as at the time of external. Now next point is related to throw keyword. Related to throw keyword. What is meant by Java throw exception? The Java throw keyword is used to explicitly throw an exception. Right now, whatever exception we are handling, it is called as the implicitly handled by the try-catch block. But if you want to handle it explicitly, then you can use the throw keyword. We can throw either checked exception or unchecked exception in Java by throw keyword. Okay, so whatever we have seen the hierarchy related to exceptions, all you can handle over here through this throw keyword. The throw keyword is mainly used to throw custom exceptions. Custom exceptions is nothing but user defined exceptions. Try catch block मध्ये आपण custom exceptions handle करू शकत नाही. Okay, to design a custom exceptions, you can use the throw keyword because it is handled explicitly. The next concept is related to chain exception, but before that we will see the throw keyword and how to utilize and how to access in our programs. Okay, so whenever somebody will ask you as an external or as a interview purpose, then you should able to give the answer for throw keyword like that. It is mainly used to explicitly throw an exception. It handles checked as well as unchecked exception. Also, it is used to throw an custom exceptions. Custom exception is nothing but user defined exceptions. Okay, so you will have its syntax. You will have its syntax. How to design a how to call the checked or unchecked exception explicitly using throw keyword. You can directly generate an instance that writing the throw new exception class. Okay, and error message. म्हणजे थ्रो कीवर्ड न्यू कीवर्ड ह्या दोघांचा यूज करून तुम्ही डायरेक्टली थ्रो तुमच्या एक्झाम्पल मध्ये कॉल करू शकता. सो व्हॉट वी विल डू, वी विल क्रिएट आवर ओन एक्सेप्शन, that is custom exceptions. So what we will do, we will simultaneously see both the parts, means exception handling for custom exceptions with the help of a throw keyword, because without taking the help of a throw keyword, we are unable to generate the user defined exceptions. In try catch block only we can handle the checked and unchecked exceptions. So see what I am doing. So what I will do, I will write a one exception related to age. Okay, you are eligible for voting or not, like that, or you are eligible for blood donation or not. So what I will do, I will take one integer value age. Before that, age must be declared. Actually here main method is there, so above the main method we have to write this code. For that purpose we need a one method name for checking. So what I will do, I will create one public static method, so no need to create its object. Public static void, we are checking the age, we are checking the age of a person. So I will write here one method having name as a checking, or you can make it as a validating etc or validate. Okay, so inside it I will write a one if loop, because we have to check the age. If age is less than 80, then you are unable to vote. So I will write here one message to user that system.out. println, and in that I will write person is not eligible. Person is not eligible, and in else part we will write person is eligible for voting. Person is eligible for voting. ओके, फक्त मी काय केलं, एक इफ एल्स लूप घेतलं, त्याच्यामध्ये एज चेक केलं, 18च्या अबव असेल तर वोटिंगला अलाउड आहे. आता आधी मी एक सिंपल प्रोग्राम करून दाखवते. मी आधी लगेच थ्रो एक्सेप्शन करत नाहीये. ठीक आहे, मी लगेच थ्रोला जात नाही. मी आधी सिंपल प्रोग्राम दाखवते, मग आपण थ्रो कीवर्ड इथं कसा यूज करायचा ते बघूया. आता आपण घेताना मेथड स्टॅटिक घेतली चेकिंगची, त्यामुळे तुम्ही इथे डायरेक्टली ती मेथड कॉल करू शकता, राईट. आणि त्या मेथड मध्ये जी काही असेल ती तुमची व्हॅल्यू देऊ शकता. सपोज आय हॅव पास्ड हिअर 20, एज 20 पास केलं, राईट. आणि त्याच्यानंतर जर काही तुम्हाला तुमचा रिमेनिंग कोड लिहायचा असेल तर तो पण लिहू शकता. ओके, तर ही झाली आपली सिंपल वे. आपण अजून इथे एक्सेप्शन हँडल नाही केलेलं. मी एक साधा कोड लिहिला. ठीक आहे, पर्सन इज इलिजिबल फॉर वोटिंग. आता मला इथे एक्सेप्शन हँडल करायचंय, राईट. जर एज 18 पेक्षा लहान असेल तर मला इथे एक्सेप्शन थ्रो करायचं. आता आपण असा मेसेज डायरेक्टली देऊ शकतो इफ एल्स मधून, पण काही वेळेस असे प्रोग्राम्स असतात की ते एक्सेप्शन म्हणून कन्सिडर केले जातात. सो त्या केससाठी तुम्हाला इथं काय लिहायचं आहे ते सांगते. आता तुम्हाला थ्रो कीवर्ड यूज करायचा आहे, राईट. So how to use the throw keyword? Just mention here throw new. ओके, आता एज हे आपण इंटिजर फॉर्मॅट मध्ये दिले, राईट. त्यामुळे एज म्हणजे एखादी इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू असेल जिथे आपण न्यूमेरिकशी रिलेटेड आहोत, त्या केसमध्ये तुम्हाला इथे लिहिताना चेक्ड एक्सेप्शन लिहायचंय, सॉरी अनचेक्ड एक्सेप्शन लिहायचंय, आणि त्या एक्सेप्शनचं नाव आहे अरिथमेटिक एक्सेप्शन. इट्स ऍप्लिकेबल ओव्हर हिअर, राईट. So in this way, you can design your own exceptions with the help of a throw keyword. Okay. आता आपण जर हे ट्राय कॅच ब्लॉक मध्ये चेक करायला गेलो असतो, सिंटॅक्टिकली करेक्ट होतं, ह्याला एक्सेप्शन पण जनरेट होणार नव्हतं. पण ते थ्रो कीवर्ड यूज केल्यामुळे तुम्हाला जो हवाय तो मेसेज तुम्ही इथे ऍड करू शकलात, राईट. पर्सन इज नॉट एलिजिबल फॉर वोटिंग, लाईक दिस. हे कशामुळे शक्य झालं तर थ्रो कीवर्ड मध्ये. ट्राय कॅच मध्ये बाय डिफॉल्ट जे इनबिल्ट एक्सेप्शनचे नावं आहेत किंवा इनबिल्ट एक्सेप्शन्स आहेत, तेच फक्त तुम्ही हँडल करू शकत होता. इथे तुम्हाला जो हवाय तो मेसेज तुम्ही थ्रो कीवर्ड यूज करून पास करू शकता. नाव सी आन्सर तेच राहील, फक्त लक्षात येते. जस्ट अ मिनिट, आय हॅव मेड हिअर मिस्टेक. Nobody has find out this. ओके, थ्रो कीवर्ड कसा यूज करायचा लक्षात आलंय. एक सिंपल प्रोग्राम आपण पाहिला अनचेक्ड एक्सेप्शन साठी. सेम वे मध्ये आपण फाईल हँडलिंग मध्ये फाईल नॉट फाउंड शी रिलेटेड आपण एक एक्झाम्पल बघणार आहोत थ्रो कीवर्ड यूज करून. ओके, एनी क्वेरीज? Yes, students, is there any query?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so first take this program and then we will move towards next one. So meanwhile, I will first take the attendance. Okay, I will launch the poll. Just give to reply for this. Yes, I have launched it. Give the reply so I can consider it as your attendance. Remaining students give the attendance. I have already launched the poll. Check it in your option like a more. त्या 3 dots मध्ये चेक करा, तिथे तुम्हाला पोल दिसतो, तिथून द्या आन्सर. तरच तुमची अटेंडन्स कन्सिडर करता येईल. Only 78 has responded. Remaining 20 students. Yes, remaining. Otherwise, I need to take once again through participant links, but they are not present over here. Just logged in. Within 10 seconds, I will stop it. Still 14 are remain. Only 88 has responded. Yes, remaining 10. Make it fast. Yes, remaining 10 students. Make it fast. Okay. Because very few are. What happened? Why you have not responded? Again, I need to check it individually. Means we are having such a facility, but due to not giving the responses, again we need to check it. Okay. Roll number 2 from A division. So I'm checking the attendance for those 10 students, those who have not responded. Then we will move towards the next point. A division roll number 8 and 10. Roll number 20. 28, 29. 33, 34. Roll number 50. A division. $71 and $72. B division. Ten. 13. 1 3. 90. 22. 38, 39, and 40. 52. 54 to 60. 'Why you have not given your roll numbers proper manner? While attending any type of a seminar, workshop, or it may be internship, give the numbers properly. Your division underscore roll number. If roll number is 5, then mention, suppose a division, A underscore 05 underscore, then start your name. And your name must be in the fashion that first name and then second, final. First name and last name, in that pattern must be there. Some are writing with the CSCB something, some are writing with division name, roll number, but name is starting with small and capital. Don't follow such a type of a. Okay, so your name writing must be in the proper manner. Your division, it must be a capital, then underscore. 2-digit numbers must be there for your roll number, then again underscore, then mention the first name, it must be start with a capital letter, then give one space and then write your last name, and it starts with capital letter only. Then and then only we are able to easily take your attendance. You are not responding the polls and you are not writing your names also in proper manner. Otherwise it will take your time only, because we need to check one roll number is present at the starting and remaining roll numbers are present at the ending. I'm not doing this for personal things, but it will be very easy for each and every faculty member, and it will be very easy for you people also. How we can find out that? We are checking from first roll number to up to 80 roll number, but your roll number is not present. We are writing directly here as absent, but while coming down, then we are finding out that your roll number is there. You are not responding the polls. Many of people are not responding the poll, just they are present inside the meeting. If you are having any problem related to poll, just drop me a message or you can unmute yourself. Why every time we need to give the instructions? Now your 5 minutes are invested for this time only. For taking the attendance, 2 or 3 minutes are sufficient. But if your roll numbers are in the correct manner, then it will be take only 2 to 3 minutes. But your roll numbers are having your own fashions. Then how we can take it? And same scenario you are following for the workshop also. how that person will take your attendance easily? Then you are saying that I am present, but how we can find out that? Sometimes two batches are there, but sometimes two branches are combined togetherly for such a workshops. Then how we can segregate over there? So it's my last warning to all of you. You have to start your name with division, then underscore, then two digit roll number must be there. If if your roll number is suppose 7, then 07 must be there. Division underscore roll number of 2 digit. Then again underscore, start with your first name having first letter as a capital and last name first letter as a capital in this sequence. Okay. B15. Yes, I have noted. A33. Anybody else who has not given the attendance? A67. Okay. And don't allow us to repeat it. Okay. तुमच्या साईडने आता हे क्लिअर होणं गरजेचं आहे. हे सारखं सारखं चालणार नाही. Why you are writing the roll number over here? Already taken. Yes, A64, A7, B12, A2. Yes, I have already noted. Okay, should I mention over here? You have taken almost 10 minutes for the attendance from our lecture. So I will drop this message on our group. Just check it. Now. Okay, so we have seen the exceptions for finally, throw keyword. Okay, so you can design your own exceptions also. For blood donation, you can design the blood donation related exception like here. For that also you can mention the arithmetic exception because we are checking the values only, means age and weight we are checking for the blood donation. So another way is also there for the designing the custom exception we will see separately. Just now for throw keyword I have shown you this type of exception, but again different ways are there, we will see in that point only. Okay, then next part is related to propagation. Next part is related to propagation of exceptions or chain exception. Propagation of exception or chain exception. An exception is first thrown from top of the stack, and if it is not caught, it drops down the call stack to the previous method. ओके, म्हणजे स्टॅक फॉर्मॅट आहे तो आपला यूज केला जातो. फर्स्ट द टॉप ऑफ द स्टॅक आहे तो चेक केला जातो. दॅट्स वाय वी आर फॉलोइंग द हिरार्ची लाईक दॅट. वी आर रायटिंग दी फर्स्ट रन टाइम एक्सेप्शन, देन कंपाइल टाइम and then parent class of exception. That's why we are mentioning such a priority. Okay, because top of the stack contains the runtime exception. If it is not caught, it drop down to call stack to the previous method. म्हणजे वन बाय वन टॉपचा जो आहे तो आपल्याला खाली खाली आणत जायचं स्टॅक वरती. If not caught there, the exception again drop down to the previous method and this process is going on. Still you will caught the exception. And until they are caught or until they reach the very bottom of the call stack, it will read it continuously. And this process is called as the exception propagation or chained exception. Okay. लक्षात येते सगळ्यांच्या? जोपर्यंत त्याला ते एक्सेप्शन प्रॉपरली सापडत नाही तोपर्यंत ते चेक करत करत जाणार आहे. आणि हे फक्त मेथड साठी ऍप्लिकेबल आहे. ओके, मेथड साठी हा पार्ट ऍप्लिकेबल आहे. Right now, whatever we have seen, it's completely related to try, catch, and finally blocks and throw keyword. But this type of exception is completely applicable for methods, and in that method, we are handling the chain of exceptions. Okay, now see how it is get handled. how it is get handled. So we will create one class. Okay, in that what I will do, above the main method I will create one simple method having name as a method m. ओके, त्या मेथड मध्ये मी काय लिहिते, फक्त एक इन्फॉर्मेशन लिहिते, एक इंटिजर डेटा घेते 10 डिवाइड बाय 0. ओके, फक्त आता इथे एक्सेप्शन येणार आपल्याला माहिती, कारण जेव्हा आपण एखाद्या व्हॅल्यूला 0 ने डिवाइड करतो त्या केसमध्ये तुम्हाला अरिथमेटिक एक्सेप्शन येतं डिवाइड बाय 0. ओके, तर आपल्याला माहिती आहे की ह्याला एक्सेप्शन येणार आहे, पण ते हँडल कुठं होणार आहे, ट्राय कॅच ब्लॉक मध्ये. मग मी आता इथे अजून एक मेथड लिहिते आणि त्या मेथड मध्ये तुमची एम मेथड मी कॉल करते. हाऊ टू कॉल इट, जस्ट मेन्शन. डायरेक्टली मी ती मेथड कॉल केली. आता इथं मी अजून हँडल केलेलंच नाही त्या मेथडला, सॉरी त्या एक्सेप्शनला. आपण चेंज एक्सेप्शनचा पार्ट बघतोय, हा मेथड साठी ऍप्लिकेबल आहे. मी इथं डेटा डिक्लेअर केला, ह्याच्यामध्ये एक्सेप्शन आहे, ती मेथड मी एन नावाच्या मेथड मध्ये कॉल केली. पण काय केलं, मी फक्त कॉल केली, तिथं हँडल केली नाही. आता मी अजून एक मेथड क्रिएट करते आणि मी ती इथे हँडल करते. त्याचे एक्सेप्शन जनरेट होणार आहे ते इथे हँडल करते. पण ते कसं हँडल करते चेक करा. ओके, ट्राय ब्लॉक मध्ये मी कुठल्या मेथडला कॉल करते, एन मेथडला. सी हिअर, मी एम मेथड होती ती एन मध्ये कॉल केली, पण इथं हँडल केलेली नाही. आणि परत ती एन मेथड आहे ती मी या पी नावाच्या मेथड मध्ये कॉल केली, पण मी इथं ती एक्सेप्शन हँडल करते विथ द हेल्प ऑफ अ ट्राय कॅच ब्लॉक. नाउ मेन्शन इट्स actual type of exception. This is related to arithmetic, so you can directly mention the arithmetic, or if you don't know which type of exception will generate for this type of a data, then you can write the parent class, that is the exception. Okay, so yeah, in SOP statement you can write it down, the message for the user, like and just call or just create object for this method. Here we are writing the name of method as a p. Here we are writing name of a method as a p. So just create the object for this. How to create this one? Yes, students, how to create it? You have to create first object of a class. Suppose t is equal to new, and then call that method. What is the name of method? P, right? Okay, we have followed our scenario also. After try block, catch must be there or finally must be there. So according to that, we have handled our exception. Now see. Okay, divide by 0. So this process means handling the exception which is available in one method, and whenever we are propagating to another method, means we have called method m inside the method n, and again method n we have called inside the method p, and here we have handled that exception. This process is called as the chained exception or propagation of a exception. Okay, are you clear? Yes, students? Any queries inside it? So what you have to do, you have to try it from yourself. First take it, but change the type of exception. Here take one string value and provide that string value as, I will show over here. You have to implement it from your side. So this comes under the null pointer exception, right? This comes under the null pointer exception. So what I will do, I will create here one more exception and I will write here as a parent class. See what happens. Scenario is one and the same, because at the first line you got this exception, but later on in second line we are having null pointer exception. But while checking your code, at the first line only you got the exception, but while reading this, what it has done, first it has called the method p. That's why you have reached over here. Through method p, it get inside to try block. In try block we have written the method n. So it has checked whether n is available or not inside this class. N is available, it reached to n, but again it contains the method m. That's why it had checked whether m method is available or not. Again m method, you got it over here. In that first line contains exception. First line only contains the exception. That's why it has fetched over here and it has handled with the help of a catch block. But suppose if that line is not having the exception, suppose it's divided by 2, it means this line doesn't have any type of a exception. So it will reach to next line which contains the null pointer exception. Which contains the null pointer exception. Now see, your answer will be generated as your answer will be generated as a null pointer exception. Just a minute. I will once again execute it. Actually, it's implementing but not showing over here. Just a minute. Okay, so what I will do, I will try to calculate the length, because if I have declared only as a null, it will not generate any type of exception, because declaration with the help of a null it's allowed. That's why it has not generated any exception. So now I write here. Yes, any query? Okay, understood. If I will write here directly parent class of exception, then also it will generate the null pointer exception as your answer. Understood? So this is the chained exception or propagation of a exception. Okay, so if you want to take this program, you can. Okay. Have you cleared for this?